Why Josh Morrissey?
He's a player that possesses a lot of things that we really like in a defenseman in the way the game is played right now. A great skater, good hockey sense, really good hockey sense, can move the puck, has a little bit of an edge. So he has the elements that we think it is what it takes to play in the National Hockey League and be an impact player.
Did he blow you away in the interviews? You said you saw him 4 times.
Well, the interview side of it, regional scouts were probably met him a couple of times of those 4 interviews. We had a combine interview and we had a second interview, obviously here. So over the course of the year, probably 4 times.
And he was good at interviews?
He was good in interviews for sure. A real character kid. Like he is someone of that has tremendous character and real genuine, hard-working. Again, just can't say enough about those aspects of it. That's all part of it. The interview process. It doesn't. It comes into play, but it's not the only thing that comes into play. It's play on the ice.
We've been talking to other people in the Western League. They all say one thing you keep hearing about him is he competes.
He competes. He'll. One thing in the interviews he talked about. He likes to try and get some hits in early in the game. Keep the other players' heads up, and he also gets in going in the game. Again, really good hockey sense, really good anticipation. Good qualities that can make a well-rounded defense.
You did talk earlier before the draft that you would like to try and maybe move up. Did you try? Did you get close? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, there were lots of different conversations. Close, I guess you'd have to ask the other guy if I was close or not. Obviously, we stayed at 13. There wasn't a lot of movement, really, per se. I think there was more conversation than movement. But it was interesting because there's lots of players that obviously a lot of people must have liked because people behind you keep calling at different points in time for your pick if their guy is there, and then suddenly those things go cold at different times.
Before we ask you about Frolik, the Blackhawks traded another guy, Gabe Bowen. Were you in on that at all?
Not to the extent of Frolik. Frolik fit what we were kind of looking for from a winger standpoint, someone that's a really good penalty killer. Someone that is a former 2-time 20-goal scorer, at the National Hockey League level. Again, works extremely hard. I think you saw, how he played in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's when he does play his best. He's someone that really competes, and I know he'll be looking for an expanded role.
You've said you wanted a top 6 right winger, and I know there's lots of stuff still to happen. Right now, is he that top 6 guy?
I think we'll still keep looking. I think he'll still, again, that opportunity can be taken by him or get someone else. Again, we don't anoint where players play and where their play dictates where they play.
Some talk that you guys were maybe in on Domi. Did you look at the 12th pick at all, or did you get close on that?
Again, it's hard to really speculate. Obviously, there's lots of different things. With respect to where we tried to get, who we tried to get, that's obviously all speculation.
You talked about this restocking the shelves because we have a lot of picks.
Well, we have 2 more picks coming up sitting here speaking, and again, it was a whirlwind of the day with respect to that. We made a couple of different moves. Obviously, giving up 2 picks to acquire a national hockey player, then moving a pick to acquire some additional picks later in the round. So it was a very busy day, at the table. It's been a real busy couple of days up until this point in time because, as I mentioned before, there was lots of conversations. Obviously, there were some deals that were made, here, but and the venture of this, that was scratch the surface of conversations that had gone on.
Is the marketplace still volatile? Like a lot of those today players didn't move right now, and then after tomorrow, there's still a few days before free agency starts. Could you get active again?
It could. There's with the salary cap, coming down for a lot of teams. I think everyone is really starting to focus in on that and try and figure out where they're going to be cap-wise. If they do have RFAs to sign, where are they going to be cap-wise, when it comes to that. Certainly there's lots of players that I guess could be available, but I guess you have to look, down deep sometimes to see, why some of those players might be available from a cap charge to, is it something something that fits, from your perspective of moving forward as well.
What have your scouts told you about some of your other picks, through the second round and maybe to where you are right now?
Well, our pick in the second round is a very, very skilled, player. He's someone that was ranked extremely high on a lot of lists. Again, size, is probably something that you kind of look and go, but his hockey sense, his competitiveness, his ability to make other players better, the way he sees the ice, just, kind of a really, really fun player to watch. And, when you talk to other players, a real fun player to play.
Do you know where your vision, your plan is, and where you're going? It struck me today that maybe you might have gotten a lot closer to where you want to be with. You're going to have a bunch of young kids coming online soon, and that depth is something that you always talk about. Is this a big day for you guys in that regard?
It's an extremely big day for us, with the number of picks that we had coming in, with the opportunity to pick up a National Hockey League player. We accomplished a lot of different things today, at least in our mind. Now, obviously, the drafting side is done. Now the developing side begins, and the scouts spend all the time out in the field and do the lists and work really hard at that, and then they put their trust in the development side of the organization. And that's something that we place a lot of weight on. Obviously, development camp will be coming up shortly in Winnipeg. There's going to be a lot of new players there. It's going to be an exciting time, I think, for the fans of Winnipeg to see a lot of new players along with the Scheiflers and the Trubers and the Lowrys and everyone talks about. So, from an organizational standpoint, very exciting. But again, you put that behind you, and you put the work boots on and put the hard hat on, and you go to work again tomorrow.
What do you see from Comrie?
More guys. Very technically sound goaltender. Unfortunately, had some injuries this year and later on in the year, and have to have those corrected. But a real student of the game when it comes to goaltending. A real workhorse, for his team prior to his injuries. So he's someone that Wade Flaherty has had an opportunity to see quite a few of our goalies on our list, and he was very, very high on this player.
Going back to Morrissey, how big an asset is it to have Manson, sort of looking over his development, very similar to Scheifele being with Howard Chuck?
Yeah, I think it's real exciting that a player can learn from a player that has played at the National Hockey League level, has experienced it, and is willing to work with those guys. In our interviews, we talked a lot about that, and the influence that he may have, just the experiences of what it takes to play professional hockey. And again, you guys will have a chance, if not on to speak more with Josh, moving forward. He's a real good kid, real student of the game, a real sponge when it comes to learning. So, again, when he gets an opportunity to get to the National Hockey League level, he'll be learning from a guy like Charlie Huddy. If he has to play in the American League at all, he's learning from people in Cambridge. So, top to bottom, in our organization, there's lots of people that can help him along the way.
We read all about, Vermistrov. There's another report that Vermistrov's Russian agent says he's close in the KHL. What do you say to that?
Well, again, lots of rumors out there. I can't really, get into it too much. I guess if it's a choice of his, that he does want to go play in Russia, I can't compete with that. In those regards, we'll continue to negotiate, and we'll continue to see if how it goes, from that point.